Hello everyone. Today I want to show you how we can configure network address translation but using Cisco Router. The other time we see how we can configure internet using a firewall, but this time around we are going to use Cisco Router so that computers can be able to access internet. So I'm going to click on routers, then I'm going to drag my first router here. Then the second I'm going to use a switch. So this is another net switch. I'm going to host it on GNS3. Then I'm going to have one computer here. So this one is Kali Linux PC. I'm going to host it here. Then I'm going to use NAT cloud, which is the one connecting to the internet. So you can be able to see right now my PC has internet. So I'm going to use that. Then now we are going to connect. So I'm going to click on the connection. So this one I'm going to use gig 00. The one connecting to LAN, I'm going to connect to that. Then the next I'm going to connect to 2. Yeah, so this is now the setup. So now that's the setup. So the IP address, I'm going to write here. So the IP address for this is 192.168.122.1. That is /24. This is the gateway. So this is my gateway. So I can just close this. I can resize this one. Yeah, so this is my gateway. So this is my internet. Then this one will pick IP address automatic via DHCP. So this one will pick IP address via DHCP from this one. Then on LAN, I'm going to configure IP address of 10.1.1.1.1/24. Then this PC would pick IP address automatically from the router. So I'm going to enable that. Then I'm going to right click and start. And then right click and go to console. Then after the console, I'm now going to configure a few things so that this PC, Kali Linux PC, can be able to access internet directly. So you can use any PC, it can be Windows, or it can be any distros of Linux. So it depends on which one do you like. So this is the one that I'm going to configure. So I'm going to press enter. Then I'm going to type config T. So I'm going straight away to interface G1/0. So the description for that interface is one link. So this is interface gig 1/0. IP address, I'm going to use DHCP. Then no shutdown, then save. So we are done with configuring gig 1/0. So it will pick IP address automatically from the NAT. So in a few minutes, just few seconds, you can be able to see the IP address will be up. Yeah, so already it has obtained IP address of this. So I'm going to configure again interface gigabit 2/0, which is facing LAN, IP address 10.1.1.1. So that is /24. Description, that is going to LAN, then no shutdown, then exit. Then I'm going to configure DHCP. So this DHCP, default router, DNS server, alternate, exit, exclude. So I'm going to exclude only one IP like that. Then now I'm going to configure routing, IP route, default route. Then I'm going to forward all traffic to 122.1, which is my gateway, this one. Then the next is access list to permit the entire LAN. I'm going to permit this network to access internet. Then interface G2/0 IP NAT inside. That is the interface connecting to LAN. So you are going to make it IP NAT inside. Interface connecting to WAN, interface G1/0 IP NAT outside. IP NAT outside, exit. Then I'm going to configure overload. So IP NAT inside source list. Source list is this access list 10, so source list 10. Interface, the one which is facing LAN, gigabit 1/0 overload. Then save. So we are done with that. So now let me power on this. You right click, start. So this Kali Linux machine is hosted on VMware server. That's why you see it is opening on VMware. So I will be able to show you how you can add some host on the VMware. So this is Kali Linux. So I am not going to use the virtual PC, but I'm going to use the real operating system, which is hosted on a VMware workstation. So remember, you can integrate VMware workstation with your simulator. So now I'm going to test the DHCP with this one. Then now I test if it can be able to access internet. So within a short time, it can be able to obtain an IP address. So now this is the topology. So this Kali Linux is going to obtain IP address from the router, while the router is going to obtain the one IP address from the NAT cloud. So this NAT cloud is directly connected to my PC so that it can be able to obtain the internet address. So this is Kali Linux. So in a few seconds it will be up and running so that you can test. Yeah, so I'm going to log in as Japhet and the password. So now it is okay. So the next thing now, I'm going to go to CMD or the CLI for Kali Linux. Then I will check if it has obtained IP address. So I'm going to click on this terminal. So you click on the terminal. Then after you click on the terminal, I'm going to see, or I'm going to check if this PC has already obtained IP address from the router, because the router is our DHCP. So this is a shell. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to type IPA. So you see it has obtained IP address from the router directly. So if we ping the router, ping 10.1.1.1, so you see it can be able to access the router. So let's try now and ping gateway, not gateway, but Google. So I'm going to ping google.com. So you see it can reach internet. So if I can try, let me open the browser. So sometimes I'm sorry, it will be very slow because of the resources on my PC. So remember, this simulation need a very powerful machine, meaning at least your RAM should be 16 GB. But if your RAM is 8 GB, it will be struggling so much. So let me just try and access internet here. So let me type Facebook, just facebook.com, then press enter. So now it's loading. Yeah, so now you can be able to see a Facebook page is loading. So if you go to another tab like YouTube, then you click on YouTube, so it will load. Yeah, so now you see it is loading. So if I try now, let me remove access list or routing. So I'm going to use this one. Let me remove, or even, yeah, let me remove even access list. No access list. Let me try and open again. So you see it is still taking a lot of time to be able to open. So that is how you can be able to configure NAT using Cisco Router. Thanks so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. I'll be making many videos as we go. So thank you so much. Have a good and nice day.